Acknowledge me.
You just made the list.
I am the B-E-S-T.
I'm better than you, and you know it. Damn.
Welcome back to Down Under the Mat podcast here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. To my left, Mr. Daniel Danielson. To my right, Rowdy Reece. I am Booker Ted, and we're here for another Slam review. Obviously, most of you must have seen our review of the Big Slam show that they had in December last year.
Rage in the Cage.
Rage in the Cage. This time we are doing a review for the Slam Rumble, which happened last night at the Southern Cross Club in Woden here in Canberra, and we all attended.
We did.
Had a great time, I've got to say. What was your feeling for the night, boys? How did we feel, Reece? What was your...
Oh, I thought it was a great night. Lots of fun. You could tell the crowd was a bit rowdy before the show had even started, so that...
Happy hour will do that.
Yeah, somewhat a good sign.
I have to agree
Even
with
some
you.
nights.
I think the crowd was probably one of the rowdiest crowds I've seen at
Which is
Slam.
kind of crazy, because in the moment last night, I was thinking this is more rowdy than what Rage in the Cage was, when we had like 1,600 plus fans in the venue.
Yeah.
So,
Well, 750 fans last night too
Yeah.
crammed into the Southern Cross Club.
which is
so...
a solid effort.
Oh, to fill that room too, man. Like
Sold out
that's a
show.
big room.
It's a fantastic night.
What about you, Dan? What was your takeaway from last night? How did
I
you
was
feel about the whole thing?
pumped to see the event. Like I think what we said on our Royal Rumble podcast the other week, the Royal Rumble event for WWE is our favorite pay-per-view match of the year. It's like the anticipation of seeing who comes out next, what's going to happen, sort of thing. And to have that at Slam was pretty similar. We knew, I'd say probably half the people that were probably going to be in this Rumble. And just waiting to see who came out when and that sort of stuff is always the best anticipation for a Rumble match. So I was really keen to see what happened, and it delivered.
Yeah, definitely delivered. It was a great show.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, just like the Royal Rumble, there wasn't too many matches on the card, but I think it was the right amount, timed really well,
Yeah.
didn't go too long, wasn't too short. And we'll go through the whole thing. And we actually have been playing with some new equipment too, which hopefully we're gonna stream some of it into this video and show you some of the highlights from last night, as well as a couple of sneaky interviews on the way through. So
Doing some expert journalism.
I don't know about the expert part of it, but it's the first time we've played with that equipment, so we know for next time. Dan has made the best purchase on Amazon of these little wireless microphones.
Absolutely amazing.
And I do apologize because it's the first time we've ever used them, and obviously you can't hear when you're using them when you record it for the first time. And typical me, I'm quite loud. So we now know that you don't have to hold it up to your mouth. Yeah. So we're learning. We learn every time. But yeah, we've got some great highlights that we're going to share. So
we're just hapless wrestling fans learning new things. It's
I get super excited, man. Like the Rumble is my favorite. Yeah. I get overly excited. So kicking off the show was a bit of a surprise, actually.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by this decision.
Yeah, we had the title match. Luke Watts defending the title against the hooligan, Vinnie Bronson, the leader of Bronson United.
Accompanied by Josh as
Matching tracksuits.
Well, I must point out, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there's been a lot of rumors circling around that Josh from Bronson United and Josh from the Ned and Josh podcast are the same person. And that has been vehemently denied by Josh.
I don't think they're the
the
same
podcast.
person.
No way. I also heard chants and rumors last night that Josh got fired, but I don't believe that's true either.
Yeah.
No, I believe
doesn't
the
make
chance
sense.
of you got fired, I have to point out the fact that
Thoroughly
the
incorrect.
contract ended.
Contract expired.
Josh was not renewed.
Josh was not renewed. That's the chance.
That's what we need.
He didn't get fired, and it's not even the same Josh anyway. That's the problem. You're chanting to the wrong Josh. Yeah. So I think they've got a
Doesn't make sense,
there.
guys. Make it make sense.
No one's ever seen them in the same room, though.
That's the thing.
That's a
Nobody
good
saw
point.
him last night after the show either.
But there's a potential for a slam match in future. I think
Josh versus Josh?
Josh podcast versus Josh from Bronson United. So
Well, Josh from
Book
Bronson
it.
United is pretty capable in the ring now because he's, always interfering in this match. And this one, he got his hands on Luke everywhere.
Or
Mate,
what?
so many times.
The referee had a hell of a time trying to keep control of this match. And I think there was multiple times where he he wanted to call a disqualification with Josh's multiple interferences, but I think he did a favour by the fans and went, no, we don't want to end this
Play
in
it out.
disqualification.
Let's
We'll play
have a
it out.
proper
So
finish to
props
this.
to the ref for letting it go.
Yeah.
It was a few times. Josh, mate, you were asking for it. I tell you, mate. How many times did he interfere? Was it 4 or 5?
I'd say 4
Yeah.
at least.
And then the big one where he made them all tumble out of the ring. That was the big one.
That was a scary one as well.
Yeah.
Just watching the way they fell off that turnbuckle and outside. But they got up straight away, so they seemed all right, which is good. Good news, no injuries.
Match was good.
Yeah, it's a
I
great
think
match.
the moves between them was pretty good. Luke, obviously, a bit more of a high flyer. We were jumping around a fair bit, trying
Vinny's
to
more of
control
a mat
Vinny.
wrestler, a bit of
Yeah.
a dirty player.
Was there Josh? There was a point where Josh held the referee too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like almost like hung the referee up over the ropes when Vinny was trying to get in behind. So threading that line.
He's really testing the waters there,
really?
mate. I can't wait to see Josh have his debut match. Singles match, that is.
Oh yeah.
Or I think back on it now.
Get his
when-
comeuppance.
when he first got in to Slam and was with Crofty, right? He was side by side with Crofty originally before he did the turn. And I look at it now and I go, you know what? They did the right thing because I don't think Josh could be a face.
No,
No, God, no.
no.
He
don't
makes a
think so.
good heel. He does a good job. But look, and the finish too, we had the shooting star press in the corner. Yeah. But this time, Luke Watts, the hope from the top rope, added some innovation to
Yeah.
the move because we had Vinnie Bronson hanging up in the Tree of Woe position.
Yep.
And Luke Watts was able to execute the shooting star press onto him while in the Tree of Woe position. That was...
Well, was it the 270 degrees of knees?
That's the move.
Mate. Love it.
So what was interesting though is after the match, I was actually able to catch up quickly with the hooligan, Vinnie Bronson,
mate.
and asked him a couple of questions about what's next for Vinnie Bronson.
I'm here with the hooligan, Vinnie Bronson. Vinnie, you had your match against Luke Watts tonight. Unfortunately, you weren't able to come through and get the victory. What's next for you, Vinnie?
You're asking a pretty simple but difficult question there, Teddy Bear. I took him to the absolute line, didn't I? I took him to the absolute line.
Well, some might say it was you and Josh that took him to the absolute line, Vinnie. He did get involved quite a lot during that match.
There's no denying that Josh is with me, right? But I don't know what you're getting on about, right? I'm the one that stood in the ring. I'm the one that took the hits. I'm the one that delivered the blows. I took the champion to the line, and you can see tonight why that geezer is champion. So what's next? Listen, I don't know yet. But I can tell you this ain't it. I ain't done. Bronson United is only going from strength to strength from here.
Look, you heard it here first down on that podcast. Vinnie Bronson, the hooligan from Bronson United. Thank you so much, Vinnie.
So there, you heard it from the mouth of the hooligan. As you can see, he claims that it was mainly him that took Luke Watts to the edge. He vehemently denied that Josh played a big part in that match. And he's not really sure what's next for Vinnie Bronson. I think he's got to look how he's going to get up those power rankings. It'd be interesting to see where he falls next time those power rankings are shared.
We look at what happened. Mikey lost the title to Luke Watts at Rage in the Cage. That instantly dropped him down to 5th place on the power rankings. So Vinny was number 1 on that. After the loss, it'll be interesting to see where he's going to drop to, 4th, 5th, maybe off the power rankings.
Who knows?
But one thing I've got to point out about the hooligan is Bronson United's growing. I don't know if you saw how
There
many
are a
shirts.
lot more fans in those crowds now.
Like, there's a lot of the Vinnie Bronson United shirts around.
Look,
He's
there's
got a lot
some
of
pretty
backing,
nice
mate.
shirts.
I wore an Aston Villa jersey a couple of events ago to it.
Yeah.
Which is the same colour scheme as Bronson United. I won't wear it again because, Vinny got the shits because it wasn't his merch, so
I
fair enough.
thought he maybe got the shit to you because it wasn't West Ham.
Oh,
who
could be
also
that.
have the same
colours.
So- and then I think there's also Burnley, who
Yep.
also wears it. So
Yeah.
I don't know which club it is, mate. But
It's
he'll
all-
tell you it's Bronson United. So, no, look, very exciting to start off with the title match. It definitely was unexpected, and I think that made us realise what the main event was going to be, and the show was based around the Rumble,
Yeah.
so it
Slam
makes
Rumble.
sense. So,
Top of the card, man.
but then we had a very interesting development where it wasn't a match technically that was to follow. We had Mikey Broderick. He's come all the way back from Perth
Yep.
to come and address the Slam fans with Sweet Pete. in the ring.
We got ourselves a live promo, folks.
We did. And
Love
can
it.
I just say, before we get into it, because I really actually enjoyed this
Me
promo,
too.
and Dan, I know it's something that you've asked for.
It was a
about live
fantastic
promos.
promo. Like, it's good to have some of them now. I think it's hopefully going to be more of a constant
I
moving
agree.
forward.
100%. Yep. All for it.
The only thing I didn't appreciate,
What?
and I know it's something
What?
that you can't control
What?
sometimes, is that exactly that when he started getting the what chance. Everybody knows I'm a massive fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I really do feel there's a time and a place for
yeah.
what chance, and that was not one of them. But it's a local crowd. What do you
What?
do?
Local crowd. And
What?
as I mentioned earlier, it was a really rowdy crowd. as
What?
well,
Yeah.
So it's not surprising.
You're
What?
oh, bro? You're triggering me.
He's got trauma from last night, okay?
Oh, but look, I mean,
He's
look,
gonna
look
break
how,
out
look
in
how
his
red
sweats.
I'm getting just from hearing you say what.
What?
But look, I felt like it wasn't deserved because Mikey was cutting fire on the mic.
It was a good promo.
He's a top shelf athlete. He didn't deserve that sort of treatment.
And I love that he said he was going to win the Royal Rumble, or the Rumble,
Slam
and be your local hero
From
Perth.
Nice
Yeah.
little
I
dagger
was
in the
I was
side.
actually kind of hoping he was going to come back out and do a little bit of a, I'm sorry, I haven't seen, I've seen the light now. I shouldn't have done what I did, and a bit of redemption. But he's really doubled down on the,
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
nah, screw you, Canberra. I'm done
Mate,
with you.
When you got to drive 41 hours to the other side of the country with your dog, you're not coming back.
That's not a very heel move, though, is it? Driving with your dog. That seems something like a nice guy would do.
Something like the great Australian hero, Lee Morrow, would do.
Yes.
But then
100%.
what was even more exciting after Mikey started giving it to us in the crowd was some music hit. And everyone, was going like, well, what's going on here? Who's this? What's the music? And then
Oh, the TMDK on the screen.
Damian Slater, former WWE developmental wrestler and member of TMDK, comes out and doesn't really like what Mikey was talking about and the fact that he was whinging in the ring about everything and blaming everybody else. And to all of our surprise, and I think we were all quite happy with it,
Got an impromptu match.
laid down the challenge, said, how about we sort this out right here, right now? And they put on, it was a good match. Like, I'm not going to lie, they were bouncing off those ropes like there was no tomorrow. I am looking forward to seeing more from those two in the future. Mikey Broderick was able to get the win over Damian Slater in...
He reversed a roll up, essentially.
he did, yeah.
Grab the tights a little bit,
Yeah.
but ref didn't see it. Doesn't matter.
Yep. A win's a win.
Wins a win.
Exactly.
Wins a win.
That's all that matters. Wins and losses.
After that, I was actually able to catch up with Mikey Broderick before the Slam Rumble at the end of the
Oh,
night.
this was half time, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
this
Yeah,
was.
this was
just,
during the intermission.
so this was after his victory over Damian Slater, his impromptu victory, and asked him what he felt about Damian Slater and how he was going to go in the Rumble. So I'm here with the top shelf former champ, Mikey Broderick. Mikey, you were interrupted by Damian Slater tonight when you announced that you were going into the Rumble. Do you think you've taken care of Damian Slater? You did get the victory over him. Do you think that's done now?
I think Damian Slater will be too embarrassed to come out in the Rumble. I embarrassed him, tried to disrespect me in front of the Slam fans, my fans. So yeah, I got no problems with Damian Slater. And quite frankly, this Rumble's going to be walking the park.
So you're confident that not only Damian Slater, but the 18 other men you can outlast and get that shot at the title?
No chance. I'm just a different breed of athlete. I'm a top shelf athlete.
You've heard it here, guys, down on the Mat Podcast with Mikey Broderick.
So there you have it. He was quite confident, as you can see, that
Yep.
he had taken care of Damian Slater. That was it. No more. He won, and
We'll see.
well, that's
see.
it exactly. And as you heard, he was very confident that he is on a class above. He is the top shelf champ. He was very confident that he's going to
Top
outlast.
shelf athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, top shelf athlete. Troy, that's true.
Sorry, man. Hate to correct it like that. But
No, of course. He is, he was very confident that he was going to be the last one in the 20-man Royal Rumble, I call it again, in the 20-man Rumble and outlast 19 other men. So we're going to get to that in a minute. There's a couple of other matches we need to go through first before we get there. But it was a cool segment. I think, you gave that feedback last time, Dan, about having more promos in the ring. I think everyone enjoyed it.
yeah.
What?
Because I think
We'll
one of the
forget about
first
what.
ones that we had was King Vance
Yes.
one when he
Yeah.
debuted at Slam Show, and that was fantastic. Like
And I like the way,
his work
too,
on the mic was
with this
great.
one that they promoted that you would hear from Mikey Broderick at the event. So we knew
Yeah.
Mikey was coming. We knew he was going to have something to say. I'm glad they sort of make a focal point of that, so that you allowed the wrestlers to have a bit more time in the ring with the promos, with the crowd, to sort of build up that storyline with them.
Yeah.
I know, I agree. Not a fan of What Chance, but
Yeah.
it's local wrestling. It's what we're going to get. Like,
Of course,
There
man. You
was-
can't. You
It
can't
happens
control the
everywhere.
crowd,
Happens everywhere.
There was a couple of people, and I think maybe that's something as well. I don't know if these people that I'm talking about would be ones watching our podcast, but yelling out and just swear words for no particular reason. Like, just it is a family show.
Yeah.
Like,
Not
we all love a good yell and a good chant
Yeah.
and trying to be funny, but you know,
Try keep swearing out of it.
yeah, especially it's
I know
probably
it's
not
hard
good for Slam in
sometimes,
this
but you
stream,
just
right?
it's even hard for us doing this podcast.
Exactly.
I swear a bit.
even the most noble of people fumble at times.
Who are you talking about? Noble. King Vance isn't here. All right, so we went into a tag match after this.
Yeah.
We had
Oh.
the Joker and the Thief
Mick Moretti
Love this
and
entrance.
Jimmy Townsend.
against the,
Fantastic.
it was the True Blue Connection
True and Blue with Hugh Beauty and Lee Morrow.
and Lee Morrow. Go and do the plug.
You're
Lee
a great
Morrow.
Australian hero.
And that's the flag. I pointed it out before, but that is Lee Morrow signature. Right, you can't see it on
You
the
can't
camera,
see it, but it's right there in the middle
big
of the
fan
Union
of Lee
Jack.
Morrow. And this was a good tag match. They really revved the crowd up. And I think one of the problems we did see, because obviously Mick Moretti is very much
He's very
He's a
Fan
crowd
favorite.
favorite. He is a crowd favorite, but they were playing the heels tonight.
Well, I mean, I think Mick Moretti's always been pretty heelish. Like, he does do whatever it
Just does
takes to
things
win.
So enjoyable.
I'd say he's cheeky.
Yes.
I wouldn't say he's a heel. He's cheeky.
Well, speaking of cheeky, there was a point where his hand went between his cheeks
that's true. Yeah.
and rubbed it onto his elbow.
stank elbow.
And gave old Lee Morrow the stank elbow. I don't know what move that's called. Mick Moretti, if you're watching, please let us know the name of that signature move. Because the only thing I can think of is the Poobo. But it's not a very good name.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
No, that's terrible. So
I like the stank elbow. Hopefully, if that's not it, it will be it.
but they got the win in the end from some more.
Bit of a cheeky win,
Oh, cheeky, you say?
That's coming up a lot. The cheeky bit.
mate. It's
But it was
midday
the
and your
mist.
kid wants ice cream.
It was the mist. It was the mist into
Yeah.
the face with the distraction of the referee, and the Joker and the Thief were able to gain the victory over the True Blue Connection. But I don't think that's the last we're going to see of the True Blue Connection,
No.
and it wasn't the last we saw of them
That
last night either.
No.
Either that with the Joker and the Thief.
Spoilers.
The Rumble.
So then we went into the women's match. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
we had intermission beforehand, but then women's match afterwards with Rita Stone and
No,
Belle
that was
Pierce.
before intermission.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was after.
No, it definitely was. Yeah, it was before.
Okay.
It was before. But yeah, we had the Rita Stone return to Slam. So I know Reece, I don't think you'd been to the shows potentially that she was at.
Yeah,
earlier
I don't
on,
think
but-
I've seen her, but thoroughly impressed with her in-ring work.
Oh, she's very good. And she's very much a
Very
fan
much
favorite
crowd
as well.
favorite too.
She, in the earlier shows when Slam sort of first started, she was pretty much at every show. I remember seeing her
Well,
there
I must
quite
have
a
seen
lot,
her
actually.
wrestle then. Maybe it's just been so long.
Possibly.
Since I've last seen
She
her.
has cut her hair.
Yeah.
And I did notice that on her
Haircuts
outfit
change
now,
how people look.
it's sleeveless. And she needed the sleeveless, I tell you, because we were sweating pints in there.
Mate.
If that's one thing we can say to the
Turn the
Southern
aircon
Cross
on.
Club is
Southers,
the aircon.
mate.
Oh, I can't imagine what it must have been like for the wrestlers in that ring under all those lights. That would have been hot. Hot, hot, hot.
Yes, very sweaty.
Oh, man. I mean, and not good when you're trying to hang on to ropes and not get eliminated from
That's
a
true.
Rumble. But look, Belle Pierce, it was her first. I'm saying that right? That's
Belle
correct.
Pierce,
Belle
yeah.
Pierce. Her first showing at Slam. And it was a good match. It was a really good match. She was on top early on.
I like the intimidation factor she had where she sat down in the ring.
Oh, with the
Yeah.
meditation part.
That was
Be like,
good.
I don't
Rita
even,
Stone's
I
just
don't even
standing there
care.
like,
Like,
what's
what do
she
I do?
doing? Like,
Yeah.
hello, wake up. We've got a match to have.
But it was quite a technical match too, like sort of mat wrestling. There was a lot of reversal moves going on. Like, it was very, very entertaining. And Rita Stone doing the crossbody from the top rope too. Quite spectacular.
And then tapped her out with like a crossface.
It was with
Yeah,
the crossface,
crossface.
yes. So got the win. So
If you've got a special name for it, Rita, if you're watching this, let us know. We'll correct ourselves in future.
So does that mean, are we hoping at the next event, which is March 23rd?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
At Ainsley
March
Football
23rd.
Club.
Yes.
Hoping
Back to
for
Ainsley.
potentially Rita Stone versus Kingsley. Do we think that's going to be on the cards?
I mean,
It's been confirmed.
they're both
hasn't
on
it?
the poster, so I'd assume yes.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I really
Fingers
look forward
crossed.
to that.
That's
'cause
going to be a stellar match.
well, Kingsley, you know, she's our scumbag. She's one of those ones you just love to hate, right? You love to hate, and I think Rita Stone's definitely earned herself a title shot, and I think that's the. I mean, she was really popular with the crowd, Rita Stone. Like I knew she was popular, but that especially that front row, we're really getting behind her. So I appreciate that part of the front row too. Actually, they except for the what chance.
Yeah.
And I mean, Rita's from the Central Coast, and considering she's only been wrestling for 3 years, I think she's like pretty good.
Only 3 years.
Yep. For what she
Wow.
does. Yeah.
No, I would never have picked that.
Yeah. Oh, true story.
That's awesome. That is absolutely
Fantastic
awesome.
work.
3 years.
Yep.
Dude, she's a natural.
Yep. Signature moves: 450 splash and the label lock. Like
Label
the
lock.
label lock. There we go.
It's the Daniel
One
Bryan
with the
one.
label lock. Oh, good job, Rita. So then we went on to Canberra's real scumbag, the full draw, Dan Archer in a match against Tuckman, and this actually came around and about because of
The last Rumble.
Rage in a Cage event where we had the Terry Campese over
Battle
the top
Royal,
rope
that's
battle
right.
royal where Tuckman eliminated Dan Archer and actually became a bit of a Canberra hero because of it. And Dan Archer was looking for some revenge in this match because, as they stated when they first got out there, Dan Archer pointed at him and said, "You cost me $10,000." So
Yep.
he was not happy and he was out for revenge. Tuckman was also very popular with the crowd. He had them in the palm of his hand, shall we say, with the whoa.
Yep. He's
Great
very
way
good.
great way to start the match. You always got to love when those matches starts with a lot of crowd interactions, getting the boos and the cheers going, the dueling chants. I love to see it.
Now I'm going to put it out there. I think in terms of fluidity and technical ability, this is probably one of my favorite matches of the night. I think.
I agree.
As much as Dan Archer sucks,
He's definitely growing on me. I'm not going to lie.
He's definitely growing as well. Have you seen how big the
Yeah,
guy is
too.
now?
Like I
jacked.
stood next to him before Teddy managed to secure an interview, and I was thoroughly impressed. Guy has a physique.
we
about him.
secured the interview because Dan Archer was able to get the win
Yep.
in the end, and it was in controversial circumstances. You'll see in a little bit he didn't think so much, but we had a low blow to
Ref didn't see it.
Tuckman's bush from behind. And
Right in the tuck.
right in the tuck, right in the Tuckmans, and was able to roll him up. Also, before he actually pinned him, it was the
Archer's Paradox pile driver.
well done.
Made sure I remembered
Well done. It got the pin. 1, 2, 3. Dan Archer wins. We caught up with him really quickly after the show to have a chat about that match. And he will give away a little bit of what happened in the Rumble, but that's okay. But here were
Spoiler.
some words that we had with Dan Archer after his victory over Tuckman. I'm here with the full draw, Dan Archer. Dan, thanks for your time. Your match against Tuckman tonight, you were able to get the victory in somewhat controversial circumstances.
Controversial? Not sure if anything controversial about it. I said I would hit the Archer's Paradox pile driver. That's exactly what I did, and that's what put the Tuckman away for the 3 count. So I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I don't think there's any controversy in that, but that was a good question.
Look, fair enough. I will give you that. But then in the Rumble, you weren't able to come through and eliminate 19 other men and last to the end. What can you tell us about the Rumble?
Like I said, it's been a night of successes and it's been a night of failures. The Rumble didn't go my way this year. It didn't go my way last year, but we've got the whole year to look forward to. I'm starting my climb up the power rankings. Tuckman was the first man to fall. Whoever they put me in the ring with March 23rd will be the next victim on my way up the power rankings. And I'll tell you, before too long, my name will be at the top, where it belongs.
You heard it here first at Down Under the Mat podcast with the
There
full
you
draw,
go.
Dan Archer.
He didn't think it was controversial.
That's Dan Archer for you.
Well, I think everybody but the ref saw that low blow.
Yep.
But you know,
But
Dan
that's the
Archer.
only set of eyes that matters.
And you know what? I'm not mad at him because he did say, please subscribe to Down to the Mat. So
Thank you,
Mate.
Dan.
props to you. And it's probably about that time during the show I should actually say like, share, subscribe, and comment on the video.
Possibly.
Maybe you should have probably said
Make sure
that
you
at the
share
start.
it. You know, share it with your favorite wrestlers if you see them in here, and share it with your friends if you see them on here too.
Yeah.
Tag them.
Like the point we were making before about Archer, right? So Dan's been wrestling for like 10 years or so, give or take, around Canberra and stuff. A couple of years ago when we first saw him in the Slam events, he was good in the ring, but he was never as big as he is now. I think a couple of the sponsors for Slam, the Ultra Fitness and Strength guys, they were out the front with the things. I think Dan works with them a fair bit. He's jacked now. He's gotten so much bigger.
He's been putting in the work in the gym.
So
and
is
it's
that
paying off.
ultra fitness and strength he's been working with by the looks of it?
Yeah, and is it VIVKB? Yeah.
That's where he's been getting the help from.
Getting big. And like I've mentioned it on a couple of shows previously too, Tuckman is I'm pretty sure he's the heart and soul champion of PWA in Sydney. A lot of their promotion. That was where the event I went to last year, which was the Tuckman's the Tuckman's Bush Bash or whatever, where they all were drinking.
That's where Tuckman's Bush came
That's
from.
where it came from. Yeah. He's really good. I really enjoy him wrestling, and he's only been doing it for like a year or so too. So he's relatively new to it. So
Oh, that's fantastic.
Something about blokes with mullets, mate. They seem to do well. In
They
the
got a
ring.
superpower behind
Him,
them.
the feud
Dazza?
between the two of them, Dazzle. Can you imagine a Tuckman and Dazza tag team?
Mate, they'd
I'm
have
pretty
all the
certain
gold.
they have a tag team. I think they've tagged before.
I'd love to see them tag against Lee Morrow and Hugh Beauty and have this massive
an
Aussie.
all Aussie, a bush bash, a bush doof, a
And
bush
you,
doof match.
you have to do the entire match, not only play ACDC in the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Winner gets a case of VB.
Maybe
Can't
it's
think
a
of a
case of
worse
VB on a
prize.
pole match. Or a ladder match with the VB.
And if you go up the wrong pole, you get thunderstruck.
Ba-dum. So there you go. So that
Got
was
him.
the final match before the main event. So our penultimate, you might say, where we got to the Slam Rumble, and I think this is really the main one that everyone was really excited for.
It was great fun.
And what was really interesting is that from the number one spot, we had Hugh Beauty. Pulling- Sorry. But the thing, you know what, man? Seriously, when I hear that music, all I can see is that Win TV
cricket.
intro to the cricket. And like, you even saw me in the crowd. I started doing the bowling.
Aussie fast
You
bowler.
just can't not do it. Oh, man, it triggers nostalgia in me. But yeah, Hugh Beauty, if he was going to do it, had to go from bell to bell, coming in at number one. And number two, also pulling double duty for the night, was Jimmy Townsend.
Oh, Jimmy.
The thief.
Back from the tag match.
So, and he started off in controversial fashion. He was trying to shake hands and apologize for the misting incident in the tag match, and then proceeded to rake Hugh Beauty's eyes. So, typical heel.
Man, I got scared. I thought you were going to say another word then.
Heel's going to heal, right?
What am I going to say?
The other R word.
Never mind. Keep moving on.
I was scared for a second.
Then we had, I can't remember, what was the order? Did you write the order of who came out?
No, I was too enamored. I was
So-
too pumped up, mate.
Oh, who was? I can't even
King
remember. who
Vance
the
was
third.
third.
Yeah.
He was he? Because he teamed up with Townsend to.
We're not worthy.
Yes,
We're not
Vance.
worthy.
We're not
Now,
worthy.
this is where I get a little bit upset because Mick Moretti then came out and it was 3-on-1 essentially. They teamed up with King Vance to try and eliminate Hugh Beauty.
Yes.
And then we had Lee Morrow, I believe, the Australian hero.
Yep.
Was the next entrant who was able to save him. But what upset me was King Vance was the first one eliminated from
the Rumble,
by Lee Morrow. And I love Lee Morrow, but I kind
King
of
Vance,
also
mate.
really like King Vance, and I wanted to see more of King Vance. So I'm
love
interested to see
King
how
Vance.
he bounces back from that very short showing in the Rumble. 'Cause,
I reckon he'll be after Lee Morrow. We'll see a match on the next show.
Oh,
for
that'd be
sure.
fun.
Oh, Lee Morrow. It's like,
Live in ring promo from our Lord and Savior King Vance.
mate,
too.
you know what they should do is they should invite the Liberal Party and the Labor Party, and they can have a Republican Australia's a Republic match between King Vance and.
I don't want my wrestling to get.
we don't want
political, please.
politics in
Okay,
wrestling.
well, we won't invite them, but let's have a Make Australia Republic match between Lee Morrow and King Vance. The what do they call him? The monarch of the ring. What's his?
Sounds right.
Is that right? Yeah, it's probably not right.
Could we, if we're going to do it that way, I think we need to stick to our previous booking scenarios and how we book things, and it has to be a colonization or a flag on a pole match.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Flag and a
On
pole. I
The
like
pole's
that.
getting a lot.
It's
of
got to
use.
be on a pole match. That's kind of our
Getting a
thing.
lot of use.
Oh, it'll get a lot of uses in a lot of different ways, man.
So we've got. Look, there was a.
We can't remember the order, but
We
we'll
can't
just
remember the
rattle
order.
off
It was a
some of the
lot
others.
of there was a lot of blokes in there, but I think some of the highlights of the night. I mean, some of the other entrants that we saw come in. Goblin Kid came in at one
Mate.
point and went straight out and wriggled his way in, wriggled his way out. He was gone.
I don't know how he just like flails his limbs like that. It's almost supernatural.
He's very dexterous. That's all I got.
But Jordan Locke was in
Jordan
there.
Locke.
He was in there.
Pretty sure Ricky South came in at 10, if I remember
Ricky
correctly.
South. We had Randy
Who's-
Chambers.
Ricky South's not a fan. Canberra's not a fan of him after his promo of after the Terry Campese Battle
Yeah.
Royal, and he took the $10,000 and told us to go shove ourselves.
and called us weak gutted dogs.
Wow. There was a weak got a dog chant that definitely happened during that Rumble.
I definitely want to see him versus Victor the Viking at some point.
Yeah,
needs,
okay.
That needs to
I
happen.
think the match they need to book for that is Rig versus Victor.
Oh, true.
Coming into this Newcastle
that's
stuff,
true.
yeah.
Or maybe a tag match. Maybe we
Disrespect.
can have Victor and Valda versus Rig and
Oh,
Ricky South.
here's the match to book. You book Rig versus Victor, and then like it all happens, and towards the end of the match, Victor pulls his head off, and it's actually Hugh Beauty. That's how you get Hugh across with the fans.
Mate.
There you go.
There's some future ideas for you.
The other great part of the Rumble.
Are you
Slamu.
Slamu.
Oh man, and he got some chance. Slamu.
So
He
for
is
The crowd
an
favorite.
absolute fan
For
favorite.
context too, for this, the ring was filling up.
Oh, it was very full.
Tommy Knight had entered, and those that have seen Tommy Knight, he is a big boy.
Yes, he is a very big boy.
He was in the ring, bodies scattered everywhere.
Out comes
Enter number
Slamu.
15,
Slamu.
Slamu.
And they faced off in the ring, which you can see on our
On our
socials.
Instagram,
Yep.
yep.
Which has been shared by Slam Pro Wrestling as well.
Yep.
Props to you.
And Tommy Knight was not able to take Slamu down. Slamu stood his ground and was able to actually knock Tommy Knight to the ground, which is no mean feat. I mean, that is incredible. However,
He did manage to get him down.
he did
But
in
not
the end.
over the top rope.
Well, Tommy
I don't know why I
Knight
winked.
Tommy Knight did pick him up and was able to get Slamu over the top rope.
That's some strength too.
But it didn't lose Slamu any fans. He still was cheered as he was
His foot
exiting.
got caught in the
Yeah, I
got
feel
tangled
bad.
in the top of the middle rope, which was kind of concerning, but
He's right.
he seemed all the better for it. So, props to him.
Any other memorable moments that you
Well,
want
like-
to call out?
Still on the Slamu and Tommy Knight subject, like Tommy Knight did eventually end up getting Slamu down, and once he hit the mat, all the wrestlers just exploded.
Yeah,
from the
they did
shockwaves.
Did you see Moretti went over the top rope? It propelled him over the top rope.
I missed that.
No, that's what got me. They all fell to the ground, and Moretti was over the top rope.
Such a beast, Slamu is.
Oh yeah.
Just sends shockwaves through the arena.
I'll also give credit to Slam Pro Wrestling and the music chooses for each of the wrestlers, because one thing that we've commented ourselves about the current state of the WWE and especially their Royal Rumble was that it took you about 20 seconds to work out who each wrestler was when they came into the ring, because some of the music currently
It's very
is
similar.
generic rock music and no one knows who it is. With every entrant into the Slam Rumble,
You know
the
who it was.
second it hit,
You know.
the video was up, the music was on, we knew who was coming in. And it meant that every time someone was announced, the crowd was up.
And
that was
speaking
great.
of, we'll jump to the last entrant in
No,
the
no,
Slam
well,
Rumble.
Vinnie Bronson had come in at 19.
I think it was 18.
18 or 19.
Yeah, very
And
very
so
back, very back end.
We're waiting for number 20.
Number 20.
Who's the last entrant into the Rumble? And we'd already had Mikey Broderick was out there, Slater was out there, Dan Archer had entered, Vinnie Bronson, the Grand IK. Like everyone we knew was in there. Who was number 20?
Dun-dun. Dun-dun. 2902. Crofty's music hits. But then Josh's name comes up on the screen.
Josh.
Comes out in the flannel.
In the flannel, yeah.
And I have to say, because
The absolute swerve of this.
had us hook, line, and sinker, because when we had been out during the intermission, the retired Crofty had been spotted
He was there. Yeah.
was
in the
there.
crowd. So there was a little bit of, oh man,
He's
here,
back.
he's doing it. So I have to give props to Slam and Josh on that one. You had us hook, line, and sinker.
I think, like you mentioned that off air, I recken that probably got the loudest pop of the night.
Yeah, I think
'Cause
so, for
everyone
sure.
was
And then
just
the
pumped
loudest
for
booze of the night when we realized it was Josh.
perfect work.
But
Perfect
it
work.
was absolutely awesome, because as Josh was coming to the ring, Vinnie Bronson was actually eliminated from the Rumble. So Josh got into the ring and
all
realized
by himself.
he was all alone. Got out the brass knucks, took a swing at Skoll and then proceeded to be pounced on
By
by every
everyone.
other wrestler
He just
other
got
than Mikey
swarmed.
Broderick, I must point out. He was hiding in the corner. He wanted
Okay.
nothing to do with it. And then Skoll actually eliminated Josh. And with the Viking headbutt, I don't know if that's what it's called. Let us know, Skoll, what the headbutt is called. But one thing about that headbutt that we learnt later on, and Tommy Knight learnt, and Ricky South, I believe, also learnt not to do this. You never headbutt a Viking.
Yeah.
It never works out.
The other two bigger men came off worse for wear after their headbutts to Skull.
Especially when he's just down to Horn of Mead, mate. He's ready to go.
Oh,
you know?
mate. Came out, Viking horn, big chug in the ring he got, proceeded to destroy everyone.
It's pretty much like Popeye and his spinach, right? A Viking and his mead.
Correct.
But anyway, so this, we tried to do some filming of the show and try and do some commentary on it, which we might share in the video. We'll see how we go. I'm not going to make any promises. We are going to do some highlights later, but we'll see if we share the audio or not. But there was a point where we had about 12 men still in the ring, and we literally went from
got
12 to 3
Very quick.
in about 60 seconds.
60 to 90 seconds.
There
It
were
was
bodies flying everywhere.
us pretending to commentate. It was very hard to keep up with who was actually getting eliminated at this stage because we'd be like, oh, amazing, this person just got eliminated by that. Oh, another one's out. And it's just like,
But
one after the
while
other.
talking about that person being eliminated, they were then being eliminated by the next person. So it was.
It's this train of eliminations.
But I feel like it was actually really well paced because for a while there wasn't too many eliminations, and then it all
it was
just
just like
Yeah.
bang, bang, bang.
yeah, they left it right to the end to really get that hype, and we got down to the final 3, which Hugh Beauty was still in the ring from
Still on
number
top,
1,
man.
batting through the innings.
Batting through.
From number 1.
True Michael Bevan innings.
True Michael Bevan. Well, Michael Bevan was never an opener, though. That's the only problem, but I didn't
Okay.
think of that on the spot, did I?
No.
And then we also had Tommy Knight
Yep.
And Ricky South.
and Ricky
Ricky
South.
South.
So it wasn't looking good for Hugh Beauty because, I mean, Ricky South and Tommy Knight are not small blokes.
They're not to be trifled with.
And he got in between them at one point and double chopped to the chest, and I thought that was it. That's it for Hugh Beauty. He's
Got
gone.
destroyed by those chops.
But he was actually able to eliminate Tommy Knight single-handedly
Yeah.
with a drop kick while Tommy Knight was on the apron and got him out, which came down to Hugh Beauty and Ricky South. And I tell you what, the crowd got behind Hugh Beauty.
Oh, did they ever?
No one wanted the weak-gutted dog, Ricky South, to win. But they had a really good back and forth actually for the end of that match. It was very reminiscent of Cody Gunther from a year ago.
Not Cody Punk.
No, let's not talk. We'll talk about that on our other podcast. That's going to be saved for another time. But they had a really good interaction there on the apron, back and forth. It went for another, I think, 5 or 6 minutes.
And they kept going out, then coming back in, and
Yeah.
he did the corner spot where he ran and did the ball, the slap and stuff.
I'm really getting
that was
down
good.
with that, mate.
That's a good spot. It really is.
I want to know if it's got a name though. Like
Dunno.
Hugh Beauty. What's
If you're
the-
watching, let us know.
I'll have a look for you.
I mean, I yelled out he's going for middle stump, but that's about all I've got.
I think he got hit in the middle stumps during that match, didn't he?
I think
Hugh
he
Beauty?
did. I think he did. Remember because he was coming back through the ropes, and Ricky South was able to kick the rope.
Yeah,
into-
that's right. Right
into
up
Hugh
into
Beauty's
middle
groin,
stump.
which got him the advantage.
Yeah, because that's when Ricky South then hit the down south driver.
And that was it. He got
That's
him
his
up,
pile driver finish.
got him over the top rope, and then proceeded to gloat in front of the Canberra crowd. And Ricky
For
South,
almost too long a period.
Ricky South is your winner of the Slam Rumble, which means that on March 23rd at the Ainsley Football Club, he will be facing Luke Watts for the Slam Championship.
That's a good match.
And I was
That's
able to
gonna
catch
be
up really
fantastic.
quickly with our Hope from the Top Rope,
Yeah.
Luke Watts, and
Much
actually get
thank
his opinion on his defense against Vinnie Bronson, and then him looking forward to facing Ricky South at Ainsley Football Club. And here's that interview. I'm here with the Hope from the Top Rope and your current Slam champion, Luke Watts, successfully defended his title against the hooligan Vinnie Bronson. Luke, how are you feeling after that victory?
I am feeling ecstatic. Being the champion is no joke. I've got the biggest target on my back, but I proved tonight that I will go the extra line to get the 270 degrees of knees from any angle possible. So Ricky South, yes, you beat 19 of the greatest athletes in this country, but you've never beaten me, my friend. So come March 23rd, Ainsley Football Club, 270 degrees of knees are coming your way.
You heard it straight from the Hope from the Top Rope, Luke Watts. See you there at Ainsley Football Club.
And as you can see, Luke, he's not concerned, mate. He's
confident.
He's pretty confident, our Hope from the Top Rope.
Champ that runs the camp.
That's Wow, let's just keep adding them. Let's just keep adding them.
270
Did I
degrees of
appropriate that
knees.
from AJ Styles?
Yeah, 270 degrees of knees. Yeah, you
that's
did
the big
mention
one.
that. I think it's going to be a good match. I am looking forward to that. I think he's maybe a little bit too confident. Ricky South is not to be trifled with. He's now won the Terry Campese over the top battle royal, and he's won the Slam Rumble. However, it's very different throwing someone over a top rope and pinning the shoulders for 3 seconds.
That's very true.
You know, Ricky South has proven to be a top rope specialist, over the top rope specialist. However,
Whereas
can he?
Luke Watts is a top rope specialist.
It's
we go.
over the top rope specialist versus the top rope specialist. It doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Not
that well.
quite, no.
But it's going to be a fight for the ages.
It's going to be good fun.
Look, great night, great fun. If you didn't get tickets and didn't go to that show, they did have the stream on YouTube again.
Yes.
But I have to say, there's nothing like being at the event.
In person.
In the crowd, in person. As I said, the crowd itself was really into it last night.
You could just
more
feel
so
that
than
energy before the
I've seen.
show even kicked off. Like, it was amazing last
Sure, it
night.
wasn't just the lack of aircon and how hot you were.
Could have been that.
Yeah, okay. Could have been that too. Who knows?
I have to admit, I was feeling
both.
very dehydrated by the time we left. I'd felt like I'd maybe done a few rounds in the ring, mate. It was, and we were just standing there.
You've talked about the crowd and how good the atmosphere and stuff is. I just wanted to throw a special shout out to all the wrestlers themselves. Not only were they super happy to chat, have photos, sell merch and stuff, but they did it. A lot of them did it halftime at the intermission and at the end of the show. We hung around for a good half an hour after the event had finished, and wrestlers and stuff were still hanging out, chatting to people. My son, we've mentioned Lockie before. He was just walking around, and after the thing was just going and chatting to Lee and chatting to Ricky South at the bar.
Mick Moretti.
They were all super cool.
What was great was Lockie went to Ricky South at the bar and
Yeah.
told him he's not a very nice person.
Pretty much.
And that's probably the nicest way you can tell someone that they're not a very nice person is you're not a very nice person. But I have to admit that's a really good point actually, is the fact that they do hang around, more than happy to get pictures, have a chat, sign autographs. We were there literally right to the end. Like we were probably the last people, I think, out the door.
Yeah.
And literally most of the wrestlers were still standing there in the lobby, just making sure they hadn't missed any of the fans or anyone who might want to get a photo. So props to them for doing that. And it really is, anyone who's thinking about, should I take my kids or not, take your kids to the
Do it.
show.
They'll love it.
It's
They'll
a
love
great
it.
show for kids. And like seeing the looks on those kids' faces when they get a photo with those wrestlers, it's something they'll remember for the rest of their life. And like these are wrestlers. We got to look at this, right? Like Damian Slater wrestled there last night, and we've had Robbie Eagles and others there as well. There's wrestlers that we're watching potentially that you're going to see over in the US on TV, in Japan
100%.
on TV one day, and you imagine you take yourself or and all your kids. You get a photo with that person, and then 12 months' time, 2 years' time, you see that person winning a belt on TV. Like,
I think
you can be like, I saw that person before they got there. Like, that is something that everyone can hold on to.
The key example to that, we're not talking just about Slam, obviously, all the local wrestling and stuff. I think it was 2020 or 2019, I can't remember which year it was, but in PWA, which is the one in Sydney, so Pro Wrestling Australia, there was the Grayson Waller, who's obviously an Aussie guy, against Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That was in Sydney, just on a local show that you could have gone down to on a Saturday night, and 4 years later you would have seen the then Grayson Waller and Orange Cassidy wrestling. Rhea Ripley obviously was doing local events, Indy Hardwell, all that kind of stuff. So
and we're talking like 2018,
100%,
2019.
yeah.
Like
So
it
not that long
wasn't
ago.
that. It feels like a lifetime ago because obviously we're watching wrestling now, and for us it's like, oh, Rhea's always been there, but she's really only been top of the card for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And
Before
we're
that,
we're
she's still
going to go.
wrestling.
I mean, we've talked about PWA. There's MLW, which is in Melbourne. There's a whole bunch of ones in Newcastle, Brisbane. We're going across before the Elimination Chamber to EPW, which is a show over in Perth. I know Mikey Broderick's going to be there. Slex will be there, and a few of the other guys. So
Damien
anyone,
Slater's booked for the
Damien
card as well.
Slater's
We've got
booked for
Robbie
that too.
Eagles on the show as well. It's
Fantastic.
going to be a fantastic show.
So 100%. As much as we all love, big time wrestling and watching AWT and AWWE,
just something
support local
special.
wrestling. These sort of events are so much fun to go to.
They really are.
And this is your chance to get up close to what could be future wrestling stars.
I'm going to put it out there and say definitely future wrestling stars.
Yeah.
100%. This is where they come from. Like they've got there's not very many people that just start at the top. Like there are some obviously that
We're not all the Miz.
Well, I was thinking more like Randy Orton and stuff like that because he's literally never wrestled anywhere other than for WWE owned companies.
Yeah, OVW and
Yeah,
stuff.
so, but I mean,
I like how
very
you
well
worded
deserved.
that one, Ted. I like how you worded that
Yeah,
one.
thank you. I was very
Smart.
careful. I was very careful.
But yeah, there's just something special about indie wrestling.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the US or here. Like I remember going to Townsville shows for the promotion up there. Can't remember what it's called, but we had EC3 come over when he was at the peak of his TNA career.
Yep.
Just at a random show in Townsville. Like that was the most mind-boggling thing to me.
Well, we're going to World Series of Wrestling in Sydney.
That card is stacked.
That's got
at
like
the
Nick
moment.
Nemeth on it.
We've got Nick Nemeth. We've
Elias.
got Elias. We've got Brian Cage. We've got Alex Hammerstone.
Yeah.
But you know for sure that there's going to be some local
Dana Brooke.
Australians on that card.
Against
Oh,
those guys, for sure.
Exactly.
100%.
And that's what I'm looking forward
I'd
to.
love to see Slex. I'd love to see Robbie Eagles, Damien Slater all come over
Ricky
for that show
South.
as well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like
Dan Archer, man, I'd love to
he's
see
great
Dan
in the
Archer
ring.
take on
He's
some of
great.
these guys.
Ricky's great in the ring, but you can't just call us weak gutted dogs and think that's just we're gonna
That's the
let that
Canberra
slide.
Raiders fan in you, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What do you mean, unfortunately? What's wrong with the Raiders, bro? Up the milk. Up the milk. So what was your final takeaway from last night, Dan? What was your highlight? If you had to pick one highlight.
The Archer and Tuckman match,
Yep.
I think, was my highlight. The growth of Dan Archer as a wrestler and just how much I like going to local wrestling shows.
Okay. Reece?
I think for me it was Damien Slater. That being the first time I've actually seen his in-ring work. I was thoroughly impressed with the effort that he put in and really looking forward to seeing him wrestle again over in EPW in Perth.
And I don't think it's the last we've seen of him and Mikey Broderick, mate. I think that's going to get somewhere. I'm going to put it out there. I really, really did pop for the Crofty music, but Josh
Yeah.
coming out. I thought
was a great
that
spot.
was a great end to the night in terms of last entrant for the Rumble. And it had me hook, line, and sinker, man. I was grabbing my chair like, Crofty's back.
I
told
we
you.
were all pumped, man.
Yeah.
And, I completely threw it out of my head that, no, he lost, which means he had to retire. There's no way that could be Crofty. I lost all sense of that. So, no.
But in the heat of the moment, you just forget about that stuff. You're just like, oh my God.
We just want Commissioner Crofty so bad.
Commissioner Crofty.
We want Commissioner
Commissioner
Crofty.
Crofty.
Look,
Genius
Slam,
idea.
well done. Another great show. As we said before, 23rd of March, Ainsley Football Club is their next show. I think they said it's limited to about 500
Got to jump on those tickets quick.
So don't leave it too late. Make sure you jump on there and purchase some tickets. And get
see
to
you
the show.
there.
And if you see us there, come up, have a chat.
I mean, I'm kind of, I stick out. Big bald head.
You
Better
do.
than being a
but-
big bullhead, but you know.
It depends who you talk to.
Look, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment on this video. Let us know if you were at the Slam Show, what you thought of it. Mr. Daniel Dennison, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Reece. I'm Booker Ted. This
Thank you,
is Down
Ted.
Under the Map podcast. Another review of Slam. And we'll see you at the next show. Again, subscribe, like, share, comment, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube.
Do everything.
Do everything. Do everything. Bang, bang, scissor gang, baby. Woo!